Yes! Wind Lesbian Secret Dungeon. Amazon, Wind Amazon Secret Dungeon. Okay, I'm gonna get that right one day. Wind Amazon Secret Dungeon, the one we all wanted from a secret dungeon. Do we want her though? Did we really all want her? What's up, everybody? Let's take a look today. We're getting the Wind Secret Dungeon for the Secret Dungeon for the Wind Amazon, coming on October 7th to October 10th. So let's see if this is something we want.
All right. Where's the?
There we go. All right. Getting the secret dungeon. We just happened to have one. I had one in storage, so I was like, let's take a look at it. Before we even get started taking a look at her skills, her skills and her multipliers and stuff like that, I wanted to say she is an attack-based monster. The beautiful thing about these attack-based monsters in secret dungeons are the amount that you can get, the sheer amount that you can get for food is crazy. You can farm these so fast and so easily if you have Lucians. I mean, you take a look at something like Light Vagabond Secret Dungeon or Dark Vagabond Secret Dungeon. The Vagabonds I say because they're high HPs, they just take longer. You know, Bella Secret Dungeon, Bella's gonna heal. It's just like, it takes longer and it's like more. But this one, you just Lucian the crap out of it. You just Lucian, you just whatever else. If you have any AoE monster, I mean Cassandra, if you have a Cassandra build, she's got double AoE, she's a fire monster, she's gonna crit like crazy on them. If you have Soth built, Soth can farm the crap out of this too. Rauk can farm the crap out of this. I mean, you can take so many different easy monsters, just wipe the floor with this secret dungeon and just get a million of them. A million of them. The great thing about getting a million of them right now is, I don't know if some of you guys maybe don't like farming a million pieces of the secret dungeons, but we do have one of these events going up right now, monster level up event, where you can, every time you level up your monsters, let's take a look. I know, I'm failing. I should have already had this done by now, but I didn't have a lot of food. I'm saving my mystical scrolls for the big opening, and I don't have a lot of food to use, so I got a couple. I'm still farming dungeons all the time instead of leveling up monsters.
Damn you, Jubagel.
Damn you. Time to make another couple 6 stars so we can at least finish this. But we get mystical scrolls from these, so you can even use those. You could farm for some and level them up to 5-star, even if you want to just use them as food, and then just use those to complete the adventure if you want. It's all based on preference. Some of you guys like to do that, some of you guys don't like to do that, but it's up to you. A really easy secret dungeon to farm, really easy secret dungeon to complete. Another thing about this girl is she is fusion. I know we're not even getting to is she good or not. She's fusion. Let's take a look at what she's fusion for. She is fusion for. Are we listening to church music? What is this? It says dubstep. It's supposed to be dubstep. So she's fusion for Rang. If you guys have not seen my Rang, I've done. There we go. She's fusion for Rang. You can get her in the guild shop if you need to, I believe. Not a Rang, but the Wind Amazon. But it costs guild points. You only get so much of those per week. You know, maybe you want to use those on better things like Ifrits or things like that. Yeah, but I'm using a Rang in the Water Rift Beast. Getting double S with a Rang as the leader, plus she does a lot of damage. A Rang is also good for Necropolis. A Rang is also fusion for both Katarina and for Sigmaris. So sometimes Hina is that little one that you need that you're like, oh, I just need the Wind Amazon. So some of you that have not fused Katarina Sigmaris yet may be like, oh my god, thank you. I really needed that. I didn't feel like using the guild points to get it. Really would have really liked that it's a secret dungeon. It's a really easy secret dungeon. Oh my god, she's got some boobs. I didn't realize she's got them boobies. What is that, a C cup? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. I'm a horrible judge of boob size. Really? You would think? You would think that I would be, but I'm a really horrible judge. I have no idea. Really. Let's take a look at our actual skills. Okay. Actually, let's take a look at her base stats. Still not the skill set, haha. I got you. Let's see. Her base stats, when she's 6-starred and awakened, She's got 9225 base HP, which is not that bad. Not that bad. We have monsters like, he's got 9885. So, and he's a defense type monster, right? And she's an attack type monster. She's got 9225, which is, I mean, close to him. I don't know who else has got 9225 specifically. I just know that Diaz had, like 9,000 something. She's got 845 base attack, which can be compared to, when she's 6-starred and awakened, which can be compared to, damn you Water Monkey, 845 base attack. Okay, so we're comparing that to a Nat 5. But she has 351 base defense, which is really low. For any of you counting, it's really low. Really, really low. That's the problem with these Amazons. You try to take them into arena, unless you have something like maybe a light fairy or like a Chandra that can defend, and then she doesn't take any damage. She can at least stay there and start doing damage without dying. Unless you have something like that, she's pretty squishy. She's pretty squishy. Even if you try to defense buff her, she's pretty squishy. She's gonna die in a lot of places. Let's take a look at her skills. We have accurate shot, accurately attacks with a 30% increased chance of landing a critical hit. Okay, and we have some damage plus multipliers on that for a total of 30% extra. We have the piercing arrow. Shoots piercing arrows and inflicts damage proportional to the enemy's max HP. So this is good. She's got element advantage over the water dungeon, the Hall of Water. Because she's wind. And we have damage proportion to the enemy's max HP, which means it's going to do a crazy amount of damage based on this too. And this is reusable in 3 turns. Alright, so that's nice. Maybe we could take this. I'm saying maybe we could take. I would not take this into TOA hard and try to do damage in TOA hard. She's way too squishy for TOA hard. And she only has single target. She doesn't only have single target attacks, and we'll get to that right now. Wind shot attacks the enemies with arrows of high velocity. Each arrow has a 50% chance to prevent the target from using a skill with cooldowns for 1 turn. The damage of this skill increases according to attack speed. Okay, so you're looking at this, you're like, what does this even mean? Is this an AoE? Is this a single target? It is random. It is 5 targets at random. And we're going to increase, we're going to prevent, we're not going to increase cooldowns. We're going to prevent the target from using a skill with cooldown for 1 turn. Damage increases according to attack speed. Okay, so damage increases according to attack speed. So how do you ruin this? Do you ruin this? You could ruin this like Swift, with speed, crit damage, attack. You could ruin this with Rage, speed, crit damage, attack. I say crit damage because we have this, does damage proportional to the enemy's max HP. This works really nice with crit damage. So if you have it Rage, it's going to get more use out of this one. If you have it with Swift, it's going to get more use. You're going to get more out of this one. But also, I mean, this one scales. If you have more crit damage, it's going to do good damage. If you have more attack speed, it's going to do good damage. It's going to do good damage either way. That's ruined. So maybe even if you have, like, for example, if you have Rage with really high speed subs, well, high speed subs. If you feel like building her, you could do, like, some of you are like, what do I use this Rage speed on slot to? There's a couple different monsters you can use it on, like a speed nuke team. But you can use, she's one of those monsters that's going to go good with Rage runes with speed on slot 2 and good speed subs as well. I mean, you always want good speed subs on everything usually. But let's talk about this skill. They're usable in 4 turns. It's 5 attack, right? It's going to do 5 attacks. So you could do this in Necropolis, but there's no multi-hit first skill, right? There's no multi-hit second skill. It's just single target, single target. If you had this already built, yeah, but as soon as you get to the boss, it's going to do less damage because it's based on attack speed, and your attack speed is limited. The cool thing about this, though, is this is like a poor man's Legomaron, poor man's Wind Chimera, because this does a lot of damage. I've heard that this does, like, around 100,000 damage if it's like, really well ruined. That's a lot of damage, but it's random. So you could maybe even run something like, for Guild Wars, because this is random, remember that. for Guild Wars, you could run something like a Galleon, Bernard, and Hina, Wind Amazon. Attack buff, speed buff, defense break, and then she's gonna do just random damage to whoever and hope you maybe get lucky, but that's a lot of random damage to go around. I mean, that could do some damage. So that's a thought. You definitely don't have to worry about Rina anymore. That's good. This does damage based on max HP too, so I think she would be good against something like Arena. Big damage increases according to attack speed. She's basically a very poor man's like Maron. She looks nothing like like Maron anyway. But I think that's what she would be useful for. Let's talk about the different areas of the game. Alright. Giants B10. Would you use her in Giants B10? You could use her in Giants B10. Portion to the enemy's max HP. And then we have randomness. I mean, this could just keep hitting even if a couple of these hit the giant, that could be great. Plus, if you're using also she gets an awakened crit rate, which really is nothing. It's 13%. It's kind of crappy. Because you get a lot of better stuff, better than that even. So, well, a lot of people have things like if you have Theomars, then that crit rate on Hina is basically useless. If you have Theomars also, then maybe you don't even worry about getting the Wind Amazon for like a damage dealer. I think I was looking at her originally and I was like, I really don't like her too much. She's so squishy. The Amazons are so squishy, but she does have that damage based on attack speed. And it's just randomness. You could run her in like a Galleon and she would not get interrupted because you're going to have a lot of speed on her anyway. So you could run like a Galleon, Bernard, and Hina and try to dish out some damage, yo. And you also do the prevent this target from using skill with cooldowns as well. So if you don't kill with that, I think it'd be fun to use her. Maybe I'll see if I can find someone's that we can use. Why are your feet pointed together? Okay, so we can use her in dragons, right? Giants, she's gonna get killed immediately. Hold on. Flip that. Reverse that. What I said, reverse it. We can use her in giants, right? If we're trying to speed nuke, she's going to do good damage based on attack speed, and she's going to have the attack power buff. Like if we have an attack power buffer and Bernard in there, it's going to be great. So we could do that in Giants if we're trying to do a speed team for Giants. I wouldn't say, if you're early game, don't try to do a speed team. She's going to die so fast. But if you're late game, she could be a fun speed team monster to use in Giants. Dragon, she's going to get destroyed. Necropolis, she does have the 5 hits on her 3rd skill. But I still think that no, for Necropolis, there's better monsters to build for that. Let's talk about the raids, the 3-man raids. She's got really low defense, she's going to take a lot of damage. This doesn't do a debuff, this doesn't do a debuff, and this is not going to do a debuff for raids. So, and this is based on max HP, but that's nerfed in raids too. In the 3-man raid, we can't do damage based on max HP. It's not doing as much damage. Like, you can't bring Spectra in there and Sigmaris in there and then like, oh, 3-shot the raid boss. No, that's not gonna happen. So I think that she's actually very bad for raids. For Rift Beasts, let's see. Crit, max HP, which is also nerfed against the Rift Beasts too. And then we have, this is all random attacks, so this still does. We're not as worried about the debuffs for Rift Beast because all we really need is defense break and brand generally. Those are the big ones for when they're stunned. So we don't need we're just hoping for damage. So I think she could be good for the Water Rift Beast. Let's see, what else could she be good for? She might be good for the Dark one, maybe. Water Dark, she would not be good for the Fire one. And then we have, what else? The Wind one? No, there's better monsters to stick in there. So maybe the Water, maybe the Dark would work. Also, since she's got good speed, that could help her out in the Water one as well. And all these random hits are all going to hit the same target. So she would be a monster to build for maybe... I'm saying, if you're early game, don't even worry about her. Don't worry about her, she's fusion material. But if you want to look for like a little fun, like, I don't have like Maron, so I'm going to do something damage based on attack speed, she could be maybe some fun. But she's got really bad base defense. It's really hard to bring some of these Amazons, all these Amazons really into things. Hollow Water, the Rift Water Beast, and Giants is where I think she can be used. Maybe PvP, but honestly, for PvP, if you're gonna bring her into someplace, you may as well just Lucian it. If you don't have a Lucian, then maybe, you know, maybe this could be a thing, but a lot of people have Lucians. If you have Lucian, you've built Lucian, and the benefits of Lucianing something instead of Wind Amazoning something are, you know, yeah. That's right, girl. That's right. But maybe if you see like a big tanky water defense in Guild Wars, Ariel and Rina and Chandra, she would be a fun monster to take into that, because she does damage based on attack, based on max HP, and she does a lot of these nonsense. So against full water Guild War defense, if you happen to see those, I don't know many people running them, but she would be decent against those as well. Yeah. So what we say, Giants, Water Rift, Beast, and then Water Hall of Water is basically the places that she's gonna be useful. Or what? You see a pattern here? It's watery things. Big tanky watery things is what she's good against. All right, guys. That's it for the Wind Amazon, but she's fusion for a lot of stuff that you might want to build too. I mean, Orang's got a lot of Orang is much better for Necro. Orang is actually pretty good. I've used Orang in Necro, and she actually does really well. Orang can be used in. This is basically like a cheap man's Legmar and a cheap mixed with Orang. So use Orang. All right, guys. I think that's it. We talked enough about the about Hina, the Wind Lesbian, enough, right? No, she's not a lesbian. She just has a pixie haircut. It doesn't mean she's a lesbian. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you as always in the next one.